What's up, everyone? It's time for another malt review. I'm Mike. This is Narby, as always. And today we have the pleasure of reviewing Springbank 18, part of the basic range of Springbank.
This particular bottle of Springbank 18-year-old was from a couple years ago. It's bottled annually at 46%, and just like every Springbank, no coloring added, non-chill filtered the way it's supposed to be. And we also love that Springbank bottles at 46% regularly. That extra 6% does add quite a bit to the nose and the palate, so that's much appreciated. Without further ado, the color is a very, very light gold, suggesting lots of bourbon cask influence. On the nose, I'm getting rich lemon peel, orange, ginger, creme brulee, like a lemon custard, lemon cake kind of flavors, the cereal-y notes.
I'm getting like fresh French pastries and cream inside, and yeah, all kinds of crepes and bakery notes.
Some pineapple as well.
Like
cashews.
I'm getting a lot of pie crust, like different kinds of pie, like lemon pie crust, and then some apricots, some tropical lush fruits. Very nice. It's kind of a dessert whiskey, but in a different way than your average sherry whiskey. In a way, it's really good.
It's got a more on the fresh fruit side rather than your dried fruits that you get from your heavily sherried whiskeys. Very, very enjoyable on the nose. Let's just go to the palate. Very enjoyable palate as well. And unlike most whiskeys, I'd say exactly what I got on the nose is exactly what I'm getting on the palate. So many times you'll hear us say I'm experiencing more on the nose rather than the palate. And a lot of times with this particular age, around that 18-year-old age, anywhere from 15 to 18 years old, you do experience that a little more often, where you're getting whatever you're getting on the nose, you tend to get on the palate. Once you get into the extremely aged whiskeys, they tend to be a little bit richer and more pleasurable on the nose, and then you're going to get that heavy cask influence on your palate. Sometimes it tends to be a little too drying when it's been aged for a very long time, especially if it's a first fill. But with this, that's why with an 18-year-old whiskey, you're going to get very similar, overall, you're going to get a very similar palate to nose, and that's one thing I like about this whiskey a lot. So the same tasting notes that I got on the nose, as well on the palate. Would you agree?
I would, and I like this because it's drying and a little oily, but in a very pleasurable way. Like a lot of times it's overly drying, like chewing on wood. This is like a nice drying where all the moisture in your mouth goes away in kind of a unique, interesting way, and then immediately you crave, more liquid. You crave more whiskey, and then once you have another sip, it all comes back, and it leads to all the lush tropical fruits on the palate, just like we described on the nose.
And that is a reason why 18-year-old scotches, Highland Park 18, Springbank 18. Talisker 18, Macallan 18, they tend to be so popular. One, they're somewhat affordable, of course, unlike the 25 and 30-year-olds, but also they're also very, very well balanced. So you tend to get that experience. I'd also say I'd add a light wood spice on my palate as well, but it's in the background. The fruits are in the forefront. So that is in addition to the whiskey for me. When the wood spice and the dry woodness becomes a forefront of the fruits, and the fruits are more in the background of the palate, then it becomes a disadvantage. So this adds to the whiskey. For me, this is really, really enjoyable. Again, this was bottled a few years back, but they do regularly bottle the Springbank 18-year-old. I'd give this an 89 out of 100.
I'm going to give it an 88 out of 100.
All right, you guys. Hope you guys liked this review. If you did, please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the thumbs up. We'd much appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in a week for another malt review. Take care, you guys. See you soon.
Take care.